Hello and welcome to the Crone Zone. I'm Lynn, and as usual I'm bringing you my mixture of astrology and tarot, and this is for the new moon in Taurus happening here in the UK on the 27th of April. I find myself feeling a little like Frodo from The Lord of the Rings in this present time. We've been in a period of mounting tensions all the way through April. We were feeling this at the Libran full moon back on the 13th, and nothing has let up since. So let's hear what Frodo had to say to Gandalf. And he said, "I wished it need not have happened in my time." "So do I," said Gandalf, "and so do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that's given to us." Well, let's see if we can tap into a little bit of Gandalf's wisdom as we make our way through this video. We've been living through 5 months of extreme tensions. Now, in part, this is because of the conjunctions that have been happening between Pluto in Aquarius and Mars in Leo. The first of these occurred back in November in 2024. We had a second conjunction in January, and we have the third of the conjunctions happening on the 26th, shortly before our new moon in Taurus. But by the time of the new moon, although the conjunction won't be pinpoint correct, its influence is still massive. And so we can very much see this as present at this time of the new moon. This is an energy that stirs up fears, feelings of powerlessness, feelings of being overpowered, hopelessness. It's also an energy that can be explosive. Tempers can be very, very volatile, very frayed. The first of the conjunctions we can see as setting up the situation. The second of the conjunctions in January we can see as the development, what's coming out of the first conjunction, what we're revisiting at that second conjunction to see what's flowering there. And now we reach the third of the conjunctions, which is a little bit like the final blow, the final moment where we feel something has to give. And those are the kind of energies that we're feeling. And this has not been easy, especially because for many of us, we have felt Venus's movement into the underworld. She's now out. She's not visible really in our skies yet, but she's out and moving forward now. But she's then conjuncted Saturn, which has caused quite a bit of feeling of restriction, confusions of values. So all of that's been going on for us. It's really not been an easy time. And no surprise, because at the point of this new moon, we are at the centre of a fixed grand cross in fixed signs. So I've mentioned already Pluto in Aquarius, which is fixed air, opposite Mars in Leo, fixed fire. These are squaring our new moon and also the sun, because we know the sun and the moon are together at the time of a new moon, in Taurus, which is fixed earth. And the moon and sun are also opposite black moon Lilith in Scorpio, fixed water. So we can feel the rigidity, the unyieldingness of this fixed cross. And the fact that, we know instinctively something has to give here. We really do feel that. Now, of course, let's look at the new moon in Taurus. New moons are seed times. Taurus is a sign of great fertility. It is a feminine earth sign. And here in the West, we have all of the beautiful unfolding of the late spring, trying to take us into summertime, the burgeoning, the growing of nature, that strong and beautiful goddess energy of the earth being squared by the masculine energies of Aquarius and Leo. And then opposite to our moon, we have the exiled feminine, the part of the aspect of the feminine that has been exiled and banished, wanting to be heard. So there is real tension here between the masculine and feminine energies. But of course, there's a lot more to it than that. I shuffled and selected just 3 cards for this reading, and I'd like to share the first of those with you because I think it speaks very clearly to what I was saying about the Taurus moon, the Taurus new moon. And it is the 4 of Wands reversed. Now, this is a card where we should be celebrating, we should be sharing, we should be rejoicing. But we're not. All of the joy is draining out there. We're not getting this sense of the joys and pleasures and the security and the abundance which Taurus brings as a sign. So we can be feeling very insecure. We know that Taurus also rules financial markets. We may have issues around those. We know that markets have been very volatile of late, that the energy around us is very volatile. Let's say a little more about this card. Let's look at it upright, the way it's supposed to be. So there we have a big white castle where the high-ups live, the high and mighty live. But they have come out of their castle because they are sharing their joy and their abundance. They're sharing their material wealth, if you like. Sorry, let me get this right. Their material wealth with others. We're invited to the party here. I'm not holding this very well. Sorry, there we are. I hope that's better. We can see there's a beautiful canopy there of greenery, which really speaks to the time of year that we're in, and to April, the 4th month, with the 4 wands there, and to the dancing and the celebration and the sharing and the sense of there being enough for everybody. But no, this card is coming out reversed, and I think that tells us what we're looking at here. Mercury, the planet of communications, has moved into Aries, where it's capable of quite a lot of very blunt speech. And furthermore, it's forming a half square to the planet Uranus. So people could really be blurting out all sorts of things at the moment, running away at the mouth. And you know what they say? What we can never do is take back words once we've spoken them. They remain spoken. So we may be seeing an awful lot of bombastic and revealing speech going on at the moment, especially because, in addition to that, we have Jupiter in Gemini, which is about communications, all different sorts of communications. And this is like loud hailing, amplifying all of this. So a very noisy time of words, a volatile time of action, and potential explosions of all kinds, and our Taurus Moon and Sun wanting peace, wanting stability, wanting things to remain as they are. But we can see that we're in a situation where that's unlikely to be the case. This period has the feeling to it of karmic endings. And I say that because Saturn, Lord of time and karma, is very, conjunct, is on the North Node in Pisces. And the North Node is the point of destiny, our fated point, the direction in which we are headed. And Saturn is there. And so is Venus. And Venus has been very close to Saturn of late, and really looking again at values. And I think there's a message to us, as well as this idea of karma ripening at the moment, as well as that, and karma ripening and likely to break out, I think, because of the tensions we're in. People will be reaping what they have sown. I think outcomes will be very evident now. We'll really be able to see where this journey has been taking us. And I think too that there is a helpful message for us as individuals with this placement of Venus, Saturn, and the North Node in Pisces. And I think we are called more than ever to step into our own inner integrity here. Saturn invites us to set some boundaries between ourselves and the insanity of what's been taking place in the world around us. We do not have to be part of the circus. We have to live from the inside out, not the outside in. Define our boundaries and values and align those to love and compassion as shown by the Pisces North Node. And I want to bring in here the second card that I pulled, because it is this one. And it is the Seven of Wands, all wands today. It's just all wands, fiery wands that I've pulled. And this is about holding the higher ground and not yielding it, because integrity has the higher ground. And we must hold to that and have courage here. I think we're being called, I think that the higher expression of the Pluto and Mars opposition is to find our own will, to find our own empowerment, to be active with that, to own that, to stand our ground and stand for what we know is right. That I think we're called to. Because of course, these planetary configurations are not just playing out on the world stage, they also play out within us. And we can choose whether we take the higher octave of that or the lower. I mean, there's huge potential, isn't there, for bitter words, for fighting, for arguments, for fear-based projections, for all sorts of disintegrations and low behaviours here, that once we're aware of, we can really think, well, let's remember Gandalf's words. What we have to decide is how to use the time that's given to us. That is in our empowerment, and that is our choice. And so I think it's a time for us to remain within, a time for us to hold our integrity, hold our peace, keep our grace, even if the world around us doesn't seem to be doing the same. We can do that. And relating to that, let's not forget that all new moons are seed times. What are we seeding into our future? What are we planting now? What do we hope will be growing in the future? Taurus is such an amazingly fertile sign. And this is really shown by the final card which I drew, which is the Eight of Wands, which is all about fertility. It's all about beginnings. It's all about seeding something new, something brand new. And there is that potential here at this moon. Taurus is a master manifester. This is also an opportunity if we can navigate our way through, which I'm sure we can, if we have the will to. I think this is also a great symbol of the will, the Ace of Wands. And I think it's a very good card to meditate on, to think about our will. I don't mean in some sort of spoiled, willful way. We've seen enough of that in the world. But I mean in the sense of finding our own core and spiritual will, the foundation and drive inside us. Because I think there have been some months where this has been very hard for us to find. But I think now is a really good time to claim it again. And I think we can use all of this energy around, not for destructive purposes, but to supercharge our will. So let's write our own stories and not be a player in someone else's script. I think that's what we've to do here and be determined to do. And to use all of this energy around for that purpose. So, positively, let's use the Mars in Leo energy to find our courage. Let's use the Pluto in Aquarius energy to find our own empowerment. I think that's the way we must go. Clearly, with these energies, we can be seeing unrest around us. There will be people who will be getting very angry about things, not without justification in many instances. We will be seeing reactions from people and counter reactions. So time to keep our peace, keep our grace. I'm sure we can. And I look forward to seeing you for the next video. And let's hope we move soon to more peaceful waters. So I leave you with that and say goodbye for now.